anywhere. It's just that I've saved in the PC and in my pen drive. So the thing is, I would have to use a recorded session of this subject and show it to you guys. Yeah. And that is with all of your agreement, of course. And therefore, our class will still go on. But another matter is the subject is different from your subject, but the content is exactly the same. So if you do not agree to watch a pre-recorded video, then I would do replacement. So we might have to do the replacement. When are you free? Hello.
If the recorded enough.
Mhm. The recorded is now. I'm going to record it and show it to you now.
Oh, mm.
Okay.
If me, I just recorded.
Yeah. How about you, Calvin?
Okay.
How about you, Farah?
Okay.
Okay. It's just that you might see a bit of difference in terms of the subject name and the code, but I can rest assured it's exactly the same as your notes. And the thing is, you can check from the notes that you have in front of you. It's exactly the same. Yeah. So yeah. So you would be watch. I hope you can hear it well. I've already ensured that the volume is highest as possible, and you might hear a bit of conversation with that current students that I had with. Um, some of you might not understand what I'm talking about because I'll be reading some of the chats that they might have written. But the main thing is, I went through the slides, the recorded video, and it's relevant. Lah. It's okay. Yeah. But I'm going to stay on in the Google Meet for you to view and stay with you. So if you have any question, I can pause the session, then you can ask me directly. Okay, so it's still that we're watching the recorded one, but we still have an interaction. It's just that I don't have the slide with me. Yeah, so feel free to ask me if there is any question. So let me start the session. Oh yeah, before I start, can you confirm with me, have we started discussing on the mean, median and mode?
Uh, I think haven't.
Oh, we just finished the chapter one, right? Together with the
The two.
histogram
Oh yeah.
and the okay, okay, that's good. Okay, I will start showing the video. Okay,
The last one is cumulative frequency.
cumulative frequency. That's correct. Okay, let me go to the. Mm, wait, Okay, Noel, Kelvin, and Farah, can you hear well? Can you hear the just now?
No.
You
No.
can't hear the you can't hear the sound, is it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Cannot.
Cannot.
Okay,
Haven't started.
you can see the screen now, is it?
Can see
Can.
screen.
Okay, so this is the topic. Uh, the topic we're going to do today is the measure of central tendency. Of course, we're going to cover the mean, median, and mode today. And as you can see, the title of the subject is the same. It's probability and statistics, but the code is different. Yeah, you can see it's AAMS 2613, but your code is BAMS 1613. So the contents is the same. So let me try again. I hope you can hear it. If it's not possible for you to hear, then I would have to find another way if I can transfer the file to your Google Meet so that you can hear. But let me double check. Volume on, okay. So let me know if you can't hear it.
I cannot hear, Miss.
Oh yeah, I cannot hear.
Cannot hear at all, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. What should I do now?
Miss,
Okay, let me.
currently
Hmm?
present whole screen, right?
Sorry.
Uh, if can present, eh, present without a tab.
Can I present without the tab?
I mean, wait up.
Uh, Noel said,
Yeah.
present the screen with Google Chrome tab instead of presenting the whole screen.
I see. Google Chrome tab. I don't have
Yeah,
Google Chrome tab.
if possible lah.
I'll try first. I'll find a way first because this is like really, really not good, right? I'll find a way first, see how I can present it. Hmm. Because the speaker.
One of the key things about the First World War is it was basically a war of artillery. I mean, the infantry's experience of the First World War
Hello,
was
any
really
other
being
suggestion? I can't seem to download it. If I can download it, then I can play it. I don't know how.
Is it recorded in a Google Drive
Google
or
in the Google Classroom. I believe it's in Google Drive as well. Do I need to download the Google Drive into my iPad? Because I
no?
haven't done so.
I think if it's in a Google Drive, I think it can share by email. I think.
Yeah. The thing is, how do I get to the Google Drive from here? Wait, huh? I never use my Google Drive here in this iPad, but I tried to
Oh,
access.
iPad. I think don't use Google Drive. Or I think.
Yeah, that's why I think. Let me try and see.
Okay.
Go to Drive. If I can get access, I think I can. Hold on. Now I have to type my password. Keyboard. What is my password? I forgot. Oh, I think I can. Hold on. Sorry for this. Yes, this is good. I can go to my recent. And if I can play it there, then that would be good. Hold on now. Recent. Your place got electricity, is it?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, my place, because I just received the message. Suddenly, we don't have the electricity. I thought it was just my house. And then I asked my cousin who lives next door. He said he also don't have the electricity. And I've already contacted SASB and they have couldn't see it in my Google Classroom. Wait, 613. Let's see this one, not this one, no.
Let's from Total War here, and today we're doing another top 10 Total War Warhammer video. This time doing the opposite of what we previously did and covering the top 10 maybe 1% of your total battles that you'll fight on the campaign will be subterranean intercept battles, and it doesn't make that big of a difference because it only applies to your against the Empire. Now, many lords start off with the trait Terror. Beating the Empire using Terror is not 8, it's actually just up here. Durthu. Defeating Durthu will give you the
Oh, dear viewer, please. I've come down with something so deadly. It's a deadly disease called shillitis. The only known cure is to go to productions.com and buy a boy t-shirt with that out on one map at the same time. Ahead and put them all together on one map is going to be pretty interesting, especially since a bunch of these have conflicting claims. So I'm going to have to do a bit of creative thinking on how to fix that one. But you know the drill. Another like half an hour of my life I need to spend in the EU4 custom nation designer now. So A lot of these, if you can't tell, are colonial empires, and I'm going to be going on their largest extent in history, not exactly all the land they owned in general. Like, Britain owned America, but I'm not going to give them America, I'm just going to give them what they had at their highest point. And clearly, by their highest point, I'm not referring to the time they were pillaging China and selling them heroin. Although, that's probably a good place to start, actually. Oh, Hong Kong doesn't even exist. What's the point of living? Although for Britain, I will actually just be making a custom nation with all their colonial stuff and then annexing it by the actual England, just so we can actually use their proper tag. This is literally just custom nation number 1, and I can feel the RSI in my hand already. I'll catch you guys when I've done them all. Oh, over an hour later, and I want to shoot myself in the head. So like I said before, the way this is going to work is I've made a custom nation for all the stuff they owned, and then the country that is on the map, like England, will annex some, and then France will annex Le Bourd, which has all of their colonial stuff, and you get the picture. But yeah, here we go. I've had to make some creative liberties on where some countries are, but essentially I've tried to make it as interesting as possible, because understandably on the top list of like largest empires, when half of them are just other names for China, it's kind of hard to get them all on the map. So obviously we have Mongolia, we have the Russian Empire up here, which is not quite as grand as the Russian Empire was, because the half of it's owned by Mongolia, but that's just what you gotta do. I also threw in a couple wild
Can you
cards, like
hear
the
now?
Roman Empire, which that's what this.
Still cannot.
Hiểu là
Huh?
I think no.
No. I'll try again first. Huh? Oh dear. Just now I was. Recent. I have this one. Why cannot find the first one?
What are pips? How do you calculate your value per pip? How do you calculate your profits and losses? I'm going to talk about that today, coming up next. So what is a pip? It is the smallest movement in a currency pair. Now pip is actually a short form because it actually stands for percentage in points. PIP, pip. So normally exchange rates are quoted in either 2 decimal places or 4 decimal places, meaning that 1 pip is 0.01 of the price. 1 pip is equal to 0.0001 of the price. So which are currency pairs is equal to 0.01 2 decimal places or 4 decimal places, meaning that 1 pip is 0.01 of the price. 1 pip is equal to 0.0001 of the price. So which are currency pairs that are quoted at 2 decimal places, and which are currency pairs that are quoted at 4 decimal places? So why do you need to know this? Because you need this to calculate your value per pip later on. And why do you need the value per pip for? Because you need that to calculate your profits and also your position size. For you to remember it easily, so that you don't have to memorize it one by one, currencies with the yen in it would be quoted at 2 decimal places. Whereas the rest of the currency pairs, they would be quoted at 4 decimal places. So if I take $yen, for example, okay, because you see a yen right here in this pair, then 1 pip would be equal to 0.01. So to give you an example, how do you calculate the amount of pips? So let's take, for example, today the price of $yen. Earlier in the morning it was at about 110.294. Okay, and then right now it is about 110.658. So if you calculate how many pips
I
did
keep
it
on
move
getting
from
the
this morning
second part.
all the way
Okay,
to
I
right
got it
now,
already.
based on these 2 decimal places,
Hopefully this one can be played.
110.6.
Yeah.
So
Can you hear it?
minus
The video also, I cannot see.
Yeah, I haven't displayed, but I just want to make sure you can hear it.
Oh, cannot.
Can I? So let me.
No, cannot.
You cannot?
Yeah, cannot.
Oh, is there a button I need to press so that you can all hear it?
Maybe the audio.
Mhm. You mean you cannot hear anything?
Yeah, at all.
You can hear my voice,
Yeah, can.
but the video that I'm playing, it doesn't play. You can't hear it.
Yeah.
Or maybe because I haven't shared my screen. So maybe if I try, if I shared my screen,
Okay.
then maybe you can hear. Okay? Hello?
Okay.
Okay. So let me try and share my screen first. Now I am confused. Which area should I close now? This one close. Share screen. Start broadcast. Can you see my screen now?
Can.
Okay, then we go here. So hopefully you all can hear, so we can start the session. If it doesn't work, then we definitely have to do a class replacement, okay?
Okay.
Can hear? But this thing is
Still cannot.
still
Cannot.
cannot hear. Okay. Since you guys cannot hear, doesn't work. If I can share the video, which I'm having problem, I could use my daughter's laptop, but the thing is, can I send? Let me try and send the file to you guys. Then you can
Okay.
watch at your own location, okay? That would be another method.
Yeah. Send to the GC.
Google Classroom?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I'll try to figure out how.
Okay.
Let me stop the sharing. Hold on for a while, yeah?
$110.29. You realize that I ignore the last number because most MT4 platforms, they give you an additional number. So when you calculate this, you will get 36 pips movement. Whereas if you go to MT4, you use the crosshair function, you would get the number 360. That's actually 360 points. But if you count in terms of pips, it will be 36 pips. But then again, if you want to be more specific, then you can add in the last number. 4, and 8. Okay, so when I put this in, and 4, you get 36.4 pips. So let's take another example, euro dollar. Okay, wait, I need to make a trade first. I'll be right back. Alright, okay, let's continue. Let's make a sell trade. Honestly, I don't want to do videos because I can use that time to trade. 4, you get 36.4 pips. So let's take another example, euro dollar. Okay, wait, I need to make a trade first. I'll be right back. Alright, okay, let's continue. Let's make a sell trade. Honestly, I don't want to do videos because I can use that time to trade all day. And yet there are people who be like, you teach online because you don't trade. I'm like, I'm taking time out from trading, giving you free content. I can stop any day I want. And you're here complaining, haters, you're not welcome. Today, if I take euro dollar, would be quoted in 4 decimal places. Okay, 0.0001. So let's say if you make a sell trade at 1.15793, and then you take your profit at 1.15365. How many pips did you just harvested? Same thing again, we ignore the last number because most MT4 platforms, they would have an extra number at the back, unless you're using a different platform, different broker. So we take 1.1579 minus 1.1536. Okay, do your math, 9 minus 6, 3, then 43 pips. You put in the last number, 3 and 5.2. You do your math, 8 minus 6, then would be 42.2 pips. Okay, 42.2 pips. So before I talk about value per pip for different currency pairs, you need to understand the number of units per lot first. One standard lot would be 100,000 units. Right after that, you have one mini lot where you're trading 10,000 units of the base currency. Right after that, you have one micro lot where you're trading 1,000 units of the base currency. And followed by that, you have nano lot, 100 units of the base currency. So to give you an example, so when you're buying one standard lot, you're always buying the base currency. So for example, if you buy one standard lot of euro dollar, what you're doing is that you're buying 100,000 of euro with US dollar. So now that you have known all of these things, now it's time to calculate the value per pip. Alright, so the formula goes like this. Depending on the currency pair, whether it's 2 or 4 decimal places, you need to determine what is the decimal place of that currency pair. Then times that with your trade size. Whether it's 100,000 units, 10,000 units, divide that by the current exchange rate or current market price. Meaning that this is where you look at the chart and determine, okay, what price is euro dollar at right now? What price is dollar yen at right now? And here's the good news nowadays, you don't need to calculate this yourself manually because number 1, a lot of people are very lazy. Number 2, a lot of people are very busy. Number 3, a lot of people calculate wrongly. When there is an online calculator and it's there for free, you use it. When there's something that's given to you for free, you take it. So why do I share with you this formula for? Is just for you to double confirm. Let's say if you don't trust that online calculator that some random person gives you, or if you're not with your computer, then you can calculate it manually. Let's say when you're traveling, you're using a phone to trade, then you can calculate this manually. To give you an example, let's say today you're trading one standard lot of dollar yen. Okay? How do you calculate the value per pip? Apply your formula. As you already know that for dollar yen, for any pairs with the yen, it will be 2 decimal places. The amount of decimal place would be 0.01. And you're trading one standard lot equals to 100,000 units, and hence your trade size would be 100,000 divided by the current market price, 110 0.673. Okay, for example. So you can see that your value per pip for dollar yen is going to be different because the price is going to change. But then with that said, it's not going to fluctuate too much because normally it ranges from $8 per pip to $10 per pip sometimes. So if we change the currency pair to euro dollar. Now euro dollar is more straightforward, $10 per pip. But if you really want to calculate it, then let's do it. No matter how you calculate it, it will still round up to almost $10 per pip, so there's no point calculating it most of the time. So when you first calculate your value per pip, because your base currency is in euro, when you first calculate it, it will actually be in euro rather than dollar. So later you need to convert it to dollar. Apply a formula, 4 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're trading one standard lot, it will be 100,000 units. Divide by the current price, let's say right now is 5793. Okay, then you will get 8.636. This in euro. Now you convert it to dollar. So how do you do that? You take back 8.636 times the current price, 1.15793, which would give you 9.9999999. Round it up, $10 per pip. For those math geeks out there, do you realize something really interesting? Cancel.
Hello.
Cancel. You're left with
Can you check in the
0.000.
Google Classroom if you see the file in there, in the recorded video? If you can see it's there.
Oh, okay. Right now?
Is it there?
Oh, yeah.
And can you check whether you can hear it? Is it the mean, median, and mode topic?
Right now?
Yes. Okay. We
Can hear.
can hear. You can see the video.
Yeah.
Oh, so what I'm going to do is, because I really need you guys to watch it, and then I'll be on our Google Meet, because now I cannot show it straight away in the screen. Therefore, all of you need to watch it, and if there's any question, I'm here in the Google Meet, in our Google Meet to attempt to all your question. All right.
Oh, okay.
So Kelvin, is that okay with you?
Okay.
Farah, okay kan? I don't see Farah already. Oh, Farah is there in the middle. I'm looking at
Okay.
the. All right. So I'll be here. Very sorry about this. If you still want me to do a replacement, let me know. I will do it. But for now, we'll have to go through with this. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'll be silent. If there's any question, I'll be here. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Week 2, and we're going to start with descriptive statistics of AAMS 2613, probability and statistics. Yeah, for today, the topic is about measures of central tendency. We're going to do mean, median, and mode. And at the later part, we're going to do what we call as the measure of dispersion, which concern with range, quartiles, and also standard deviation. Yeah, so it's practically something that you have learned in high school, but it's just that we are going to be more detailed, and at the same time, my focus on areas that is important so that you'll be able to answer your assessment correctly and according to the requirement of the marking scheme. I received your assignment already, and I am to issue it sometime, if I'm not mistaken, week 6. So that I will give around that time. Yeah. So this is concerning with measure central tendency, and you can see mean, median, and mode, where this measurement is allowing us to measure, and it will tell us where is the middle bunch of the data. That means we're looking at the middle value of any data, whether it's a raw data or group data. Now, of course, when we're doing measure of central tendency or measure of central location, it's definitely concerning with numerical data. That means the data we're going to use are mostly quantitative data, not qualitative. Yeah, qualitative are things that you can categorize, but in the measurement of descriptive statistics, definitely we are using numerical values. So in this case, if you draw a histogram to represent where the mean, median, and mode is, it will be in the center of the histogram. Yeah, but of course, later on you'll see that it's not, I think I've explained it last week, that your histogram can be skewed to the left or to the right. So that means the value of the mean is towards the left or the right of the histogram. All right. So the three most common method of calculation in the measures of central tendency are the mean, median, and mode. Yeah, so we're going to learn these three. And not only that, we're going to look at how do you solve for ungrouped data, that means raw data, and also for group data. Okay. Yeah, I think Lim Hee Boon, I'm reading your message now. I think he messaged me or something. He sent me an email. Okay. Okay, why is it going to median straight away? Yeah. In your notes also straight away go to median, is it? Okay, good. Yeah, 26 would be a good number. In your notes, are you looking at your notes? Is it starting with median also?
Yes.
Yes.
Median.
Oh, okay. I get confused, you see. I have 4 different subjects this semester. And what happened? All the batches also start off with the same similar topic. So the business students, they would start introducing about the measure of central tendency, start with mean. But your batch is different. You are special, right? Okay, we start off with median. Even though I stated mean, median, and mode, in your notes, we start off with median. And median is the value in the middle of the distribution. Now, when we're doing median, in order to answer correctly here, it must be arranged in ascending or descending order. But I would recommend to arrange your data in ascending. Do not consider descending. Ascending is starting from the smallest to the biggest value. Descending, start off with the biggest value to the smallest. So in this case, for median, should there come out a question on this, your data concerning with raw data, meaning bits of data, you are to arrange it from the smallest to the biggest. Yeah. And concerning with the median is the value that implies, because it's in the middle, yeah, it implies that 50% of the observation will be more than or equal to the value of the median, and the other 50% would definitely be less than or equal to the value of the median. Now, this statement, as you can see here, is basically the way you are going to use to interpret any value of median. Say you already calculated the median, so this is the way you write the interpretation of the value of the median that you obtain. Yeah, I will show in the example as we go on. Now, the computation of the median for raw data first of all, we have to arrange the data into an array. Array means, just like what I've mentioned earlier, from the smallest to the biggest, ascending order. So locate the median item as n plus 1 divided by 2 first. That means this is the first formula that you're going to use. It's a very simple formula. Therefore, it is not given in the exam. Normally when you get a question, yeah, they give you a formula sheet at the back of the question. So this formula, because it's very basic, simple, it's not given. But then again, if we still continue on to be not allowed to go to the campus, and your exam will be e-assessment, meaning your exam will be online, then it's open book anyway. Yeah, so well, you can still refer n plus 1, but if you can remember it, much better. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is to get the median n plus 1 divided by 2, where what is the n is the number of items in the data set. That means how many numbers you're dealing with. So when we have an even number, you see, if it's odd, you know where the middle position is. Yeah, I mean, if you have 5, 7, 9, you know which one is in the middle if you arrange it in ascending order. But for even number, there would be 2 numbers that are basically in the center. So what we do is we have to find the average of them. So let me show you an example. So look here, set A consists of 10, 5, 19, 8, and 3. And set B is 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. So let's say we look at the first one, set A. So we arrange it in ascending order of magnitude. So that means you see from the smallest, you can see it's from set A, yeah? From the smallest to the biggest. That means n is equal to 5, which is odd. Yeah, that means the number of items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the median is n plus 1 divided by 2, which is 5 plus 1 divided by 2, and 6 divided by 2 is obviously 3. So that means the median is the third position. Yeah, that's why I've purposely wrote there 3 and RD, indicating the third position. Therefore, your median is the 8. Again, these are very simple median calculation. It involves with raw data, only a few data, 5 data in this case. So it's very easy to identify. Of course, if you just calculate it with, you identify it with your visual, you can do it, yes or not? But you have to answer this way in order to get full mark. It's the requirement, okay? The second data, set B, there are 6 data even. So for this, what you need to do is to apply the formula again, 6 plus 1 divided by 2, and that gives us the 6.5 position. And because it's in the middle, yeah, therefore you have to add the 2 numbers that are in the middle, 4 and 5, plus them, add them up, and divide by 2. And that will give you the value of 4.5. And that's your median value then. Any questions so far? No? Hello? Okay. All right. Now, some extra example, find the median of the distribution. This is just to show you there are 8 numbers, so therefore it's already arranged from the smallest to the biggest. Therefore, 8 numbers, 8 plus 1 divided by 2, that means it's the 4.5 position. That means 43 plus with 45 divided by 2, and hence your median is equal to 4. Yeah? So I hope all of you understand concerning with the median. Now do take note, median, because we consider the middle value, it is not influenced by extreme values. What is the meaning of extreme values? Now, in certain datas, they would not definitely, there would come a case when there is an extreme value. So if I take an example of a community, a small place, and in that particular area, there are 10 families, and majority of the people there, say 9 of them, the income is about 3,000. And then suddenly got one person there, 9 of them about average salary about 3,000. Then suddenly one person there with the income of 30 million, for example. So that is what we consider as an extreme value, something that is out of the ordinary. So when we're doing median, the good thing about it is because we only focus on the middle, we will be able to ensure that the value of the median are not affected by the extreme value in the data. Okay, so here it's stated here, when the extreme values are very small or very large to the majority of the data, it will not be affected lah, basically. Yeah. So any question? No? Now the next one is for ungroup frequency distribution. Yeah. So for this case, I don't think you have this in your notes, but correct me if I'm wrong. If you don't have, don't worry about it. It's just to share with you, because it's still considered ungroup, but it has a frequency. So notice the formula now is slightly different. It's n plus 1 divided by 2. Yeah. And you can see, why do I say it's ungroup? Is because the x here is just a single value. It's not classes of data, and the frequencies is available. That means in a family with no children, there are 3 families. With 1 children, there are 5 families. Yeah. So here, in order to find the median for this kind of data, it's still ungrouped, but it has a frequency. What you need to do is to find the cumulative frequency. I've explained to you how to get the cumulative frequency, right? And basically use the formula n plus 1 divided by 2. That means since here we have 35 data, plus 1 divided by 2, you get 18. So what we need to do is to refer to the cumulative frequency, check out the position 18, a value that is bigger than it, and the best one is 20. 8 is too small. So we take 20, which correspond to the value 2. And therefore, that is your median for this data. Yeah. Now, that was what we call as a ungrouped frequency distribution. Now, what you will see a lot in your exam would be the next one, which is group frequency distribution. And in this case, you would have to locate the median item, which is n divided by 2. Notice the difference. If the data is a small data, not group, yeah, you have to use the formula of n plus 1. But if it's a group frequency distribution, that means it has classes, you only use n divided by 2. Yeah, so there's 2 methods to do this. One is linear interpolation, and the second is cumulative frequency curve. The method 1, it's stated linear interpolation, but it's not as difficult as that. It's simply a formula. Yeah, so the formula is given by this. In fact, it's similar to what you've learned during SPM, and all these values, LM, CM, FM, n divided by 2, and the summation of accumulated frequency minus the previous one, I will explain to you how we get all this value. Yeah, this is the first method. Second method to find the median for group data is using the ORGIF. Yeah, that means you need to draw the ORGIF, and then you can get the median value. Okay, so this is an example. We have 60 to 62, 63 to 65 in kilograms, and hence in this case, now it's a bit funny. This is the data. It's the same as in your question, yeah? In your notes, is it? This data, do you have it in your notes? Okay. Now, I just want to comment, because normally if it's about weight, it should be continuous data, isn't it? So when it's continuous, by right, it should be 60 to 63, 63 to 66 in that kind of measurement. But since this example in this way, therefore we just tackle it as it is, okay? So in order to find the median for group data, we have to get the cumulative frequency first. So first frequency, cumulative 3. Second frequency, add them up, you get 7. 7 plus 5, you get 12. 12 plus 6, you get 18. 18 plus 2, you get 20. So you know your cumulative frequency is correct because it's the same as the total frequency. So what do you do next? Is basically identify n equals to 20 and use n divided by 2, which is 20 divided by 2, you get 10th item. So 10 item comparing with the cumulative frequency, it should be corresponding to the value 12. Because 7 is too small, yeah? So we take 12, which is giving us the class boundary of 65.5 to 68.5. Well, basically it's 66 to 68, yeah? But because there is a gap in between, that's why I say the class boundary should be 65.5 to 68.5. So it's very important to declare, or in a way you write it down, that the median class is 66 to 68, or in the correct manner, 65.5 to 68.5. Okay, now the median already put the value in terms of the formula, yeah? So you see the LM, if you can refer to your notes, LM, the first one here is the LM, 65.5, is basically comes from here. Remember, I mentioned 65.5 to 65 to 66. Therefore, the midpoint is 65.5. So the LM, according to the formula, is 65.5. This is where you get it, the value. Yeah? Class with 3. 3 is the C, I can't remember CF or CM. What is written in your notes? I forgot. Anyway, the 3 is the size. So you see here, even though some students may say the size should be 2, no. You can see here, even though it's written 66 to 68, if you minus them, it's 2, yes or not? But since we are using the class boundary, remember the class boundary is 65.5 to 68.5, and if you minus them, it is the value of 3. Yeah, so basically the CM, yeah, the class width, which is this value, is 65.5 minus 68.5, which will give us the value of 3. All right. Now the 5 here is the frequency. Yeah, the frequency of the median class. 20 is the n, which we have 20 as the n, divided by 2. This is the formula, divided by 2. And minus 7, which we get it from here. So the 7, I repeat, yeah, comes from this value. Yeah, I hope you see that. And since we already obtained all the necessary values, and when you calculate it, please try using your calculator such that you do the ones in the brackets first, and then you multiply with 3/5, and then you add with 65.5. And that, of course, will give you 67.3. And once you obtain that, please double check for me. Then you write your comment. Yeah, it shows that 50% of the weight less than or equal to 67.3 kg, and the other 50% are having weights more than or equal to 67. Oops, mistake here. It should be 67.3 kg. Okay, any question, class? No question? Everyone okay? Okay, Vivian, thank you for your answer. No question. I hope everybody is paying attention and understand what I've explained. Maybe because you guys have no question, because these are, in a way, repeating what you've learned in high school, yes or not? Yeah, so I hope that is the case. All right. Jonathan Lu, are you angry? Why got exclamation mark in your message? Oh, okay. Okay, moving on. All right, this is the second method, how to get the median. Now, because the total value are 20, correct? There are 20 students altogether. So 20 divided by 2, because median always get the 50%, so we get 10. So what you do on the ogive, you draw a straight line across and downwards, and that, of course, will be giving us the median value as 67.5 kg, approximately. I mean, if you have drawn it on a graph paper, if you are, you got nothing to do at home, you're tired of PUBG, and you want to draw the ogive, try it out. Draw it according to the scale correctly, and you should be able to get 67.5. Okay? Okay, good, Jonathan. Hype for maths. Who's very sleepy? I know it's raining, going to rain now. Outside my house, it looks like it's going to rain. But please try to pay attention. You know why? I know this session is recorded, yeah, and then I will share the recorded one in the Google Classroom. But the thing is, if you pay attention during the class, and there are certain things you're not sure, you don't understand to what I've explained, you can directly ask. So that's the good thing about paying attention during the online class. Now, the recorded ones, the purpose is just to refresh back your memory to what was covered. Yeah, but by attending online class, you'll be able to ask, paying attention, understanding it, and you'll be able to ask whichever part that you don't understand. Yeah, so I hope you are awake. If you're not feeling good, you are feeling sleepy, you may stand up or you do a bit of push up to stay awake. Or the best thing that always works for me is to drink a cup of coffee without sugar. It works. Yeah. All right. I hope you guys understand that. Well, there is an extra example here. Do you have this extra example in your notes? This one? Oh, you don't have this one, yeah? Oh, Lo Hin Ping, you're making me scared. Le Juan Ang, what do you mean by you forgot the median for ungroup data? For ungroup data, it's like the raw data. You have to find n plus 1 divided by 2. So you have to do the calculation according to how many n's you have. Lu, can you explain yourself? What do you mean by you are lost? Yeah, we are refreshing high school syllabus actually. Oh, this one is not in the notes, yeah? Oh, definitely, yeah, because I tend to give extra for you guys, for DIA students. I don't know, because perhaps maybe because I'm in the in the same department as you guys. But anyway, just to share with you, I'm not asking you to do this, just to have a look. The total is 62, yeah? So if I have n divided by 2, I get the 31st position. So that would correspond to this value. I cannot take 24 because it's too small. Oh, Lu Hinping, do not say that. What do you mean by you're so lost? You're making me worried. Should I be worried about you? Should I make a report to Miss Tang, the program leader, that you lost your notes because it flew away? Is it very windy at your place? Okay. Then you better arrange it properly then. Hey, be responsible. You're not SPM students anymore. Huh? All of you are diploma students. Yeah, you can play, but... Okay, look here. I've chosen... No, we have chosen 22.5 to 27.5. If this is not in your notes, don't worry. I sometimes add extra work. So this is the median class boundaries, 22.5 to 27.5. And therefore the median, same thing. Perhaps you can go through them on your own time later on. So each of the values, you can see the lower class limit, the size, the frequency, which is 10. And when you calculate it, you get 26 units. And of course, this is the interpretation of the answer you obtain for the median. All right? Okay. Okay, glad to know that, Lu, you're fine. Okay, any questions of our class? Now, this is also showing the OGIF way of finding it. Remember, if you have drawn the OGIF, the value 31 will correspond to here, which is going downwards after you reach the OGIF. And of course, we get 26 units. This is just extra things lah. Yeah? Any question, class? Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good question, Desmond. Yeah. Here at TAUC, I think I've mentioned it, that we have 6 different branches all over Malaysia. Because we make it standardized, every student will get the same question, regardless whichever branch you are. So at TAUC, we draw the connected points with a straight line. Use your ruler, not a curve. I know in school your teachers taught you very well, it should be a curve, but because this is a standardized question, and being at TAUC, we love to be accurate and just one value as the correct answer, we do the curve as a straight line, meaning we connect the points with a straight line. Yeah, it is a frequency polygon way of drawing it, but frequency polygon, you put the point in the middle in between the numbers. Like every class limit, the frequency polygon, they use the center one. Yeah, like a histogram, you've drawn the bar, you put in the center, then you connect the points. But an OGIF, we are using the upper class limit. Yeah, Erwin? Okay, okay. So remember here, all the values are referring to the upper class limit. So just to highlight it, we are referring to this upper class limit. According to the CF, that means at 17.5, then we put 2. 22.5, then we put 24. So just like as it is shown in this particular OGIF. Yeah. So very good question. Please ask. Yeah. Like if there's anything you don't understand, do ask, so that any queries you can directly know about it, and at the same time, I will know you are paying attention. Okay. Okay, the third one is the most frequently occurred value in a set of measures. The mode may exist or may not. So I have several examples here. Some mode also it may not be unique. That means there are two modes in one particular data. So for raw data, very easy to look for the mode. There's no mathematical calculation involved. You just have to look at the data and then see which one the most. So we know mode is 8 because 8 most happening there. You see that? This is an example of an extreme value. Yeah, you can see most of the data are single digit. Suddenly 74 in the same batch of data. So 74 is considered as an extreme value. Yeah. And second one, you can see repetition of 6 and 8. So your mode, it's a bimodal. You have two modes. And for 3, the modes are plenty. Yeah, many, 2, 6, 8, and 9. Yeah, every number is a mode. And for the fourth one, the mode is simply a C because C is the only one that occurs the most. Yeah, even though A, there's 3 of them. Yeah, so we say mode is a C. Okay. So for raw data, very easy to calculate. Please take note, mode is not influenced by extreme values. Yeah, I've already mentioned that. Yeah. So for ungrouped frequency distribution, again, I'm not sure whether you have this in your notes. Do you have this in your notes? This is because it's considered as ungrouped data because it's not a class, and then it has a frequency. Yeah. And therefore, in order to find the mode, again, very easy. Just look at the frequency, identify the one with the highest frequency. So we know 12 is the highest frequency, correspond to the value 2, and therefore that is your mode. Yeah, no difficult calculation involved. Yeah. The next one, for group frequency distribution though, what we have to do is to locate with the model class that has the highest frequency, and then there are two ways to find it. One is using the histogram, and the second one is using the formula, just like median, but in mode we are using histogram and we are using the formula, this formula. So there's several things you need to know. LM I already show you, yeah. What is FM, what is FB, what is FA? So let's check this out. What does it mean? So do take note, if there is a case that we have unequal class size, then the adjusted frequency is to be used. Yeah. Just now I was with the business students and I made a mistake about the calculation because I didn't use the adjusted frequency, even though the data has unequal class size. So please take note of that. Yeah, especially concerning with the mode. So this is example 10. You have this in your notes, yeah? I'm not sure because I didn't double check just now, but I bet it should be. And this one based on the weight of 20 students in KG. So what we do, if I want to estimate the mode, is to check out the highest bar. This is the highest one. Yeah. And the highest one, you draw one straight line at this corner to the next bar, and another corner here to the one previous. And this will give us a point of intersection. This is the point of intersection, which you need to draw a straight line downwards. And then you need to read from the graph what is the value there. And this is in the class of 69 to 71. Hey, hang on. Is it 69 to 71? Yeah, correct. And from the histogram, the mode is roughly about 69.1 kg because we are referring to, if 69 to 71, that's why 68.5. So if you look at the graph, if let's say you have drawn it on a graph paper, you are accurate, your accuracy will be there. You'll see that it will be 69.1 kg. Okay. So this is how you get the value of the mode from the histogram. All right. Now the second way is using the formula. Yeah, so that's a bit odd. Why is it 100 there? It's supposed to be, how many? It's supposed to be 20, yeah? This is wrong, class. Okay, so just let me show it to you. To find the mode, we take the highest, which is 6. And therefore, the model class is 69 to 71. Okay, and the class boundaries is 68.5 to 71.5, actually. So if I want to calculate the mode, yeah, so it's 68.5. Notice that even though it's written 69, we're taking the class boundaries 68.5, which means from here. Okay, so this value LM comes from here because we already chosen this as your model class, so it should be 68.5. And then FM refers to the frequency of the model class, which is 6. Yeah, 6 comes from here. And then FB is the frequency above it. You can see frequency above it is 5. Yeah, minus 5. And then divide by 2 FM. That means the frequency is 2 times 6 minus 5. Again, the frequency before. And FA is frequency after, which is a 2. Yeah, so please take note where you get the FB, FA, and the 3 is, of course, the size of the class interval. Yeah, like you can also find the class interval by 69 minus 66. You get a 3. Or you use 71.5 minus 68.5. You get a 3 also. Yeah, so that's how you get a 3 here. And then you calculate all this. And this will give you 69.1 kg. So how do you interpret the answer that you obtain? To interpret it, the keyword here is the word most, M-O-S-T. So here the interpretation is it shows that the most common or frequent weight in kg for 20 students is 69.1 kg. That is how you should write your solution. Any questions so far, class? No question? Okay. Let me know. Don't be shy to ask. Do ask. Yeah. So for the mean, which is the last one we're going to cover, we already done median, mode, now the mean. It is called as mean and the most commonly used as measure of location. You'll see that a lot of researchers or any kind of statistical calculation, finding the mean is the most typical one. Yeah, so it's also known as average. Mean can only be calculated from quantitative data. And how do you find the mean is basically find the total values and then divide by number of items. Am I going too fast in that? Okay, so the computation of the mean, if it's raw data, this is the formula, summation of x divided by n. And that would give us the value of the mean. Now, this is a very simple example of 158, 189. Please don't worry about example number 1 written here suddenly. Please ignore that. Yeah. So these are what we call as raw data. It's just a small number of data. It's not grouped. So what we do is we simply have to add all the values and divide by 5. And this would give us 186. Yeah, if you add up all these values here, the data, there's 5 of them, and you get 930, divide by 5, and that would be your mean, 186. So the thing is, what does it mean by this note? Yeah, you can see all the data here, this 158 and all that. You can see that the mean that we get is 186. It's none of the data. So this is what it means. the mean, it's not necessary that it will be the same value as the data. Yeah, none of it. It will be a totally new value, but it's a representation of the overall data. That means if our mean is 186, a person who got 127 is below average. Yeah, that's what it means. And if a person got 191, then that person who got 191 is above average. Yeah. However, the thing about mean is it's definitely influenced by extreme values. Reason because when we calculate the mean, we add together all the data, and when that happens, definitely the data that is with extreme value will affect the value of your mean. Remember the example I gave you just now? Like in a place, there's 10 people, 9 of them average 3,000, but this just one person suddenly zoom up to a very big value, it will definitely affect your mean. Your mean will not be near 3,000 anymore. Your mean will be like perhaps 20,000 or something. Yeah. So the thing is, for mean, it is not suitable in the data set that has very extreme values. Yeah, it's normally mean is used when the data is roughly about the same value. Yeah. Okay. So for ungroup frequency distribution, if the mean is with frequency, this is the formula: summation fx over summation f. So for this, we only need to multiply with the f and x. I will show you in the example later on. But before we further on, if you're dealing with population data, the notation we use for mean is this symbol. It's called a mu. So mean is called a mu. Yeah, for population data. But if your data is a sample data, it is denoted with x bar. Yeah, and this is if your data is a sample. How do you know if your data or your question is a sample? Therefore your notation should be an x bar. Is that in the question it would state there the word sample. Yeah, am I being too loud? My voice is too loud because I'm trying to fight off the vacuuming process that's going on in my house now. Okay, thank you. All right. So please take note of this. If it's a population, it should be a mu, the mean symbol. And if it's a sample, it's a x bar. So if the word sample is in the question, then therefore you should use the x bar. Yeah, that means that question is a sample. So look here, you see this question, it is no sample. That means the word sample is not in the question. Yeah. So basically, to find, you see, it's a single data, x only. It's not classes, and it has a frequency. So you just have to multiply them. Yeah, meaning x and f, x and f. That means fx. You get all this value, get the total, and the mean is just applying to the formula 57 divided by 10. You get 5.7 as your mean. Do take note. We need to ensure to use an assumed mean when you are dealing with very large numbers or ones involving fractions or decimal. But most exam question, it's not really necessary for you to do so. Yeah. Now for group frequency distribution, that means now we have frequency and it's a group data. So assuming these are your data and the number of students is as such, therefore the class mark, you need to find the class mark in between the data. So 10 plus 12 divided by 2, you'll get all the values of the class mark. And then you multiply the f and the x. Yeah. So when you multiply them, you'll get 44, 168, 340, and 280. So this will total up to 832, and this will total up to 50. That is the sum of the frequency. And then you put it into the formula, 832 divided by 50, that would be 16.64. And therefore, I forgot to write it here, but you should state the interpretation as the average of the average of the frequency distribution is 16.64. That's how you should state it. Okay, so that's it. That is the measure of central location. Uh, that means we covered the mean, median, and the mode already. So the next stage is to cover the measure of dispersion. Okay, so now it is 1:51. I think it's a good time to give you a short break. Can we start again at 2 p.m.?
Miss only 1 hour.
Yeah. That particular video is only 1 hour. You finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have another session now since my electricity just got in and my Unify has just restarted. We have a short break. So, are you ready for the second part? We'll meet again at 2 p.m.
Also recorded.
No, I have electricity already. It just got in. So I was waiting for the internet to be stabilized, the Unify. So are you ready for the second part or do you want to have a break?
Break.
Yeah, I can give you. Oh, it's only how many more minutes until 11? I can give you 10 minutes and then we come back for the next part. Okay?
No problem.
You have watched the video, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it? Any question? Anything you would like to raise up?
No.
No.
All okay. Do you understand? Because it's the topic for the mean, median, and mode. Clear? No question? No problem?
No.
No, huh?
No.
So I'm going to show you the next one. It will be online already. It will be going through this channel. But of course, I have to get out from this screen first. I will log in again because this one is using my own data. Now I need to change to use my Unify. Okay, so I'll see you 10 minutes time, like 10:37, like that. Okay.
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 All right. See you guys in a bit. I will give the middle value of any data, whether it's a raw data or group data. Now, of course, when we're doing measure of central tendency or measure of central location, it's definitely concerning with numerical data. That means the data we're going to use are mostly quantitative. If we still continue on to be be not a is allowing us to measure. So basically, the CM, yeah, the class width, which is out, draw it according to the scale correctly. So I hope that is the case. All right. Jonathan Lu, are you angry? Why got exclamation mark in your the N? Why? So the identify. Second method to find the median for group data, a lot is median for this people. So that is what we consider as highlighted. We are referring to this upper class limit. it is okay, Noel. So everyone here? Who else not here? Calvin is not here, yeah? Does he read the chat or not? Yeah. Yeah, I've already put on the WhatsApp, so my concern now is whether he check it out or not. So I'm just like going through the slides. As you can see, it's practically the same. Okay, I hope you all have went through all the slides just now. Is there any parts there that you don't understand? Any feedback from anyone?
No.
No.
Okay, it's quite easy to follow, isn't it? Because mean, median, and mode is something that you have learned during high school. And practically, I'm sure when you were doing your diploma or your foundation studies, you have learned a bit about it as well. I think my explanation has been quite clear in the process of explanation. I hope I didn't miss any area, and I hope you can fill up your notes with the calculation as shown. Yeah. So, like I mentioned to all of you, I've spoken to the course coordinator, and if I'm not mistaken, you need to know how to draw the graphs, okay? Especially for the histogram and the OGIF, OGIF, as the American pronounce it. OGIF is the British, so whichever um, way you pronounce it, as long as you can draw it. So as you can see, this is the histogram. This is to find the mode using the histogram, the formula. So I really hope all of you know how to do the calculation, and if you do have any problems, let me know. Yeah. So tomorrow, I have ensured that I will be selecting some questions for you to try out, and we're going to have a discussion tomorrow in terms of the solution. Yeah, just like what we did last week. I must apologize for what happened. Yeah, it was totally no electricity just now. So now we still have about 20 more minutes or so. Maybe I should start on this. Yeah, descriptive statistics under the next area, which is the measure of dispersion. So let me record it first. Because just now I couldn't record it because I was not in that particular Google Meet, the first one, so I'm not able to record. So that's why I asked you to change to this Google Meet. So now we're going to continue with the next part of the descriptive statistics. And this particular topic is about measure of dispersion. And in this area, we're going to look at the topic on range. What is range about? And then we're also going to look at what is quartile, variance, and standard deviation. And you'll see later on that the variance and standard deviation is practically the same thing. The difference between them is variance is using a value with the squared, and the standard deviation is using the square root. Yeah. So as always during my lesson, if there's any parts that you do not understand and you need me to further clarify it, please let me know. You can directly on your microphone and ask me questions, or you could type on the chat. But of course, when you type on the chat, I sometimes cannot view it because if I'm not looking at it, then I would not be able to see. So I'm going to start with a scenario first. Why do you need to learn concerning with measure of dispersion? So based on what we learned just now, I hope you have gone through the recorded video. You have by now you know how to calculate the mean, median, and mode. Yeah, whether the data is ungrouped data, raw data, or if it is a group data. So if say you already calculated the mean, median, and mode, and you have this kind of scenario, you can see here we are calculating the heights in centimeter of 5 employees, and 5 employees from each department. From the sales department, there are 5 people, as you can see from this data here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the heights of 5 people. We also have the heights for production department. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, the data are not the same. Of course, there are some data that is the same, like this value, 193. But of course, when you look at it, we know these are from different people, okay? But once we calculate the mean, the median, and the height for sales department and also for production department, you will see that both will have the same mean height. Yeah, the mean is 190.4. You can check it out. If you have a calculator in front of you, you total all these five, yeah, all these 5 values of the height in sales department and divide by 5. Same thing like the production department, you total all these 5 values and divide by 5. You can see that both sales department and production department will give you 190.4 centimeter. And same thing for the median. How do you identify the median from what do you call this, ungrouped data or raw data? Is by just looking at the middle. And it so happened that the sales department and production department, the heights already arranged from the smallest to the biggest, isn't it? So in order to identify the median, we just look at the middle value, which is 193 for the sales, and same thing for production is 193. So you see it's the same, right? For mode as well, how do you identify the mode for ungrouped data like this, for raw data like this, is to look at the most highest frequency. That means the occurrence that is the highest. And you can see it's again 193 as stated here. So you see here, class, when you calculate the mean, median, and mode for two totally different data, it still gives you the same value exactly, the same mean, same median, and same mode. And then when that happens, because it could happen, we are not able to differentiate between the two departments. Yeah. So I hope you can see in terms of products, like you have product A and product B, and you want to measure the mean, median, and mode of those products, we are not able to compare statistically with the measurement of the mean, median, and mode, because they will give you the same data. So that is why, because of this disadvantage of the measure of this central tendency, that's why we also need to consider the measure of dispersion, which is covered in this topic today. Yeah, so that is why I hope you understand now why we also have to calculate measure of dispersion, in such that when you calculate the methods of measure of dispersion, we will be able to know how much does the data, is it all clustered very closely together, or is the data are spread out from the value of the average, from the value of the mean. So that's the main purpose. That's to see how much does it spread away or distributed the distance from the average value. Yeah. So therefore, that is why we're going to look at the measure of dispersion, which is nothing new to all of you. It's what you have learned during high school or perhaps during your diploma or foundation studies. And the first one we're going to look at is the range, quartile deviation, the next one, and then variance and standard deviation. Okay, so like I said earlier, variance and standard deviation, they are practically the same thing. Yeah, you'll see what I mean later on. So far, any question to what I've mentioned just now?
No.
No question, huh? Everyone is clear, I hope. Good. Okay, we shall continue. Now, the first one of the measure of dispersion, which is called the range. Yeah. Now, range is the most simplest method of measure of dispersion. What or how do we calculate it is simply identifying what is the highest value and the lowest value. In fact, you might have heard on television, on movies, on uh, Reddit, on a business article, or in any reading materials, the word range is used. Like the sales in that store is between the range of 100 ringgit to 500 ringgit. So the word range is normally verbally used as a discussion between two persons, for example. And by mentioning the range, the other person who you are talking to will know how strong is the values as given. No, you can see the difference between what is the smallest value and what is the biggest value of sales in the company. Yeah. Even though you don't know exactly what is the figure, but when you know the range is very big, that means the data are not clustered close together. If it's very small, then you know the data, the sales value are very close together. Yeah, because this range is the simplest method. What you do is just take the highest value and the lowest value in the data set. This is the formula. How do you calculate the range? Get the highest value minus the lowest value. So, for example, if I have this data set and it's already arranged from the smallest to the biggest, yeah? So we know this is the biggest value, 45 is the biggest value, and the value of 10 is the lowest. So to find the range is simply just deduct the highest from the lowest value, and that will give you the value of 35. So you see, class, this method of measure of dispersion is the simplest one. It's the easiest one, and most reports would use this calculation of range as a verbal conversation to inform, yeah, to your investors, to the people who are important in your company. Like your boss will come and see you. Okay, let's say you're doing sales. How much is the sales today? What is the biggest sales and what is the smallest sales? So you can say, okay, today the biggest sales is 1,000 ringgit and the smallest sales is about 50 ringgit. So you can see the range is very big. Yeah, that means the data are very spread out from the value of the mean. Yeah, so normally it's used for verbal only. It's not used for very important statistical calculation. Yeah, but it's something that you may read it or heard it from the television or read it from any business magazine for that matter. Yeah. Now, just now was ungroup data, raw data. Therefore, for group data, to calculate the range is simply to refer to the upper class boundary of the last class and minus with the lower class boundary of the first class. Yeah. So just to illustrate to you, say I have 10 to 19, for example, and then it goes on to 20 to 29, And all this data will continue on to, say, 80 to 89. Yeah. So you see, from all this data, we're looking at, in order to find the range for group data, yeah, you look at the 89, the upper class boundary of the last class. Now, because there is a gap, of course, we take 89.5 as the upper class boundary. And the first class, the lower class boundary would be 9.5. So these are the values that we're going to use to calculate the range. We are going to use the value of 89.5 minus with the value 9.5 to get the range for this kind of group data. Do you understand, class? Yes, is that clear?
Okay.
Okay. Now looking at example number 14, find the range for data set A and data set B. So data set A, you can see, yeah, you can see from the calculation already calculated, you can check it out on your own as well, that the mean is 11, median is 10, mode is 10. They are practically the same measure of central tendency. The mean, median, and mode are the same. But obviously the data are different. So by identifying the range, yeah, um, for A, the highest value is 26, the smallest value is 1. So 26 minus 1, you get 25 as the range. But for B, the biggest value is 17 and the smallest value is 7. Can be seen from here, yeah? 17 highest, 7 smallest for B. So you see the range is 10. So if you compare between A and B, yeah, that means B with the range that is smaller, that means the values, if you look at the values in the data, because it's quite small, so it's still possible for us to view. Yeah, you can see the data, they are all very close together. Whereas compared to A, it's a bigger value of range. All the data are very widely spread um, from the rest of the data. Or if you see the mean, 11 is the mean, right? So for A, it's spread out up to 25, yeah? It means up to 1 and 26. For B, it's 11 is the mean. It's not very far from the value 11, like the biggest is 17, the smallest is 7. So again, whether the bigger range is better or the smaller range is better, it depends again to what kind of data you have. What are the area under discussion? So some things, bigger range is better. Some area, smaller range is better. So again, the usage of range is depending on what kind of data you're looking at and what it's used for. Yeah, but just to inform everyone, in the final examination, the calculation of range is not that popular. Perhaps in your assignment and tests, it would be asked, but final exam, I seldom see it coming out as a question in the exam. But it's good to know about this topic. Yeah. So that's it concerning with the range. Any question, anyone?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So hold on now, let me close this. It when I look at the time just now, it's already 11. Well, 10:59 now. And I just want to show you guys the well you can look in the Google Classroom that the subject um, for this week, I mean the coverage of it. Let me just show it to you then. Hold on. Wait, I haven't opened the file actually. So I already opened it. Oh, it's here. Show it to you. So you can see here, for week 2, yeah, we're still under this is the cost plan. So week number 2, we are still covering descriptive statistics, yeah. So same thing with week 3, it would still be descriptive statistics. And you can see week 4, it's still under descriptive statistics. So we still have time to finish all the topic here. We finished the range practically. So hopefully next week there's no more problems like this from SESB. So hopefully we can cover the syllabus accordingly. And if you do have any problems with the topic on the mean, median, and mode, let me know. But what I'm going to do for tomorrow's lesson is we're going to have tutorial, right? So we're going to do a bit of questions tomorrow so that hopefully you can raise up any areas that you might not understand based on the video that recorded videos that I asked you to view in learning the topic of mean, median, and mode. Yeah. So, is there any question you would like to ask me, class?
No.
So far, no.
Yeah. No. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to message you on WhatsApp. What other question I would like you to do, and yeah, I'll see you then. Tomorrow at 1. Correct?
Yeah.
So, any question? Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's all for today. Unless you want to continue on, do you have class afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
11:30.
11:30.
Okay, so I'll see you then tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Sorry about the day.
Yes.
Yeah, miss.
Okay, thank you.